For 1,000 years, the albino dragon beast had hunted humans like prey, leaving only ash and silence in its wake until the day it met a mechanic who refused to run. The albino dragon beast had haunted the remote valleys and craggy mountains of Earth's forgotten lands. Its scales shimmered like polished ivory under moonlight. Its eyes glowed a chilling silver, and its wings, vast as storm clouds, could blot out the sun itself. Legends told of its merciless hunts villages wiped out, travelers vanished, and armies sent to slay it never returning. Few dared even whisper its name. Humans called it Nearithus, the Pale Terror. Time, however, is patient, and so is survival. Humanity adapted. Rumors of Nearithus became tales to frighten children, its centuries-long reign of terror fading into folklore. But Nearithus had not stopped hunting. It had grown clever, patient, and more cunning with age. Every century, it emerged from the hidden crevices of the earth to test itself against the best humanity had to offer. And every century, it left behind only silence and smoke. Then one day, a human mechanic named Kale ventured into the mountains, drawn not by fear, but by obsession. Kale had a mind that could see patterns where others saw chaos. His life was spent repairing engines, machines, and the improbable anything that could fly, crawl, or roar. Yet Kale was fascinated by tales of the albino dragon beast. To him, it was not a monster, but a mechanism. A living machine governed by instincts and predictable behaviors, if studied long enough. Kale had been preparing for months. He crafted traps that weren't meant to kill, but to study. Mechanisms that could record, withstand, and, if necessary, deter. He packed devices that could resist fire, talons, and fury, and he ascended the mountains alone. Guided by the whispers of the wind and the echoes of legends, it was dusk when Nearithus appeared. Descending from the clouds with a roar that shook boulders from the cliffs, its gaze locked onto Kale, and for a moment, the world seemed suspended. Many humans had cowered or fled at this moment. Kale did neither. Instead, he raised a mechanical device resembling a cross between a turret and a scanner. It hummed to life, lights flickering along its surface. Nearithus circled, wings slicing the air like knives, flames licking the edges of Kale's instruments. Yet Kale moved with calm precision, adjusting his devices, anticipating the dragon's strike. The beast lunged, and fire met reinforced metal, flames hissing against the cooling mechanisms. But something unexpected happened. Nearithus paused. Its head tilted, as if the human's audacity had caught it off guard. It had hunted clever prey before, but Kale was different. He did not flee. He did not scream. He adapted with every attack, countering every strategy. It was a dance of fury and intellect, fire and metal, instinct and calculation. Hours passed. Kale's devices monitored, mapped, and predicted. Nearithus, exhausted from centuries of hunting, began to realize the human before it was no ordinary prey. Kale was, in essence, a puzzle the first in centuries that challenged the dragon's supremacy, not with strength alone, but with ingenuity. Then came the moment that changed everything. A landslide triggered by the dragon's fury sent Kale's main device teetering over the edge. Without hesitation, Kale jumped not to flee but to catch it, stabilizing the mechanism in a way that even Nearithus recognized as impossible for a mere human. The dragon's silver eyes locked with Kale's, and in that instant, both saw something extraordinary. Not enemy, not hunter, not prey, but a force of nature that mirrored their own tenacity. Nearithus let out a final, low roar, not of aggression, but acknowledgement. It spread its wings and ascended, disappearing into the storm clouds, leaving Kale alone in the silence of the mountains. Kale, trembling from exhaustion and awe, realized something profound. The albino dragon beast had not been defeated. Yet it had granted him a truer recognition of equal intellect and unyielding will. From that day on, Kale became a legend among humans, not as a slayer of dragons, but as the mechanic who tamed the untamable, who faced a creature of myth and walked away alive. And in the hidden crags above, Nearithus watched silently, perhaps waiting, perhaps learning, always aware that now, somewhere below, human could match its cunning. The centuries would pass. The albino dragon beast would continue to haunt the shadows. But the world had changed forever because one human had dared to meet a monster, not with fear, but with understanding.